from startup. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm bringing up both ATerrain for fun and I'm bringing up Stellar as well. So I'm going to enter the room. Now, if I pick a certain name when I enter the room, right now I have 4 Stellar wallets, and I'm just using the maybe I should mute that mic, but I'm just using the name of the character to pick the wallet because I don't actually have a very formal networking scheme. So here I am in the game world, and you can see looking around. And if you look around, you'll see these little hearts. And what you can do, I'm running it with all these graphics right now for fun. Gee, there we go. If I roll over a heart, what should happen is I get that heart, and unfortunately, I get a cross-origin request with Stellar when I try to actually do the transaction. And I'll show you the source code for all this just for fun. The system starts down here where I wait 10 seconds to start, and then once I'm sure everything's up, I begin running. I found that if I don't wait long enough, that the networked component doesn't show up. I can't add the attribute networked. So the way the piece of the code works overall is this coin handler gets called over and over. After 10 seconds, it starts up. If a person is found, it goes. That's very good. It's happy. Otherwise, it's just going to wait another second. If they're not visible yet, it means you're still in the lobby, so it's going to wait another second or so. If you've passed those 2 tests, then I'm going to make some coins, possibly, dropping coins into the game world. Then I'm going to take the location of the person, and what's interesting is I'm going to fix up bad assets in the scene. I'm finding that when I ship these entities that have the MozCoin component attached over the network, that the MozCoin component doesn't show up on the other end. I can still tell it's one of mine because I'm the only person making these floaty objects. So I actually just go and correct the network traffic that didn't come in. In any case, so I get the person's position. And now what happens is I look through the scene by brute force every second or so to see if my MozCoin entity is around. And if so, I go ahead and I find how far I am from it. And if I'm close enough, that's great. I'm happy. I have a person and I have a coin. And note that I normally ignore coins I make, but for now I'm just, any coin I hit, I get to collect. So now we're in this process of actually picking up the coin. So I go down here and I first just remove it from the scene. And then I just play a sound for fun. And finally I call this send money, which reaches out to Stellar. And what Stellar is supposed to do is I try and get a proxy URL for this guy. And I try to connect to the Stellar SDK server with that URL. That fails, actually. And then I decide which party is going to get or receive the money. I have just 4 parties that are hard-coded, and all the public and private keys are here right now. This should really be on a separate server, obviously, or some of this, but I just didn't have time. And then I would build a transaction. It's very simple to build a transaction. I tested this separately. And then you prove that you sign the transaction and you submit it, and you wait a few seconds and it's done. It should be filed. And then you should be able to look at this on a public ledger very easily, on the Stellar ledger. It has a very nice viewer. And these should show up there. But unfortunately, I had the proxy error. Otherwise, aside from that, it's actually pretty tight. It's all working pretty good. loader ATerrain is kind of cute, and it's kind of fun to see